The demand for group and private events is at an all-time high. Is your business ready to capitalize on all these opportunities? With Restaurant as your booking partner, you can ensure event success this year and beyond.
With no booking fees or commissions, Restaurant has helped over 2,000 restaurants, bars, and breweries reach local event planners who are looking for a space for their next gathering. Whether it's a birthday, anniversary, graduation, or corporate event, Restaurant will get your space booked.
Try it today and receive 3 months completely risk-free by signing up at restaurant.com/podcast. That's restaurant.com/podcast.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia Sarek.
And I'm Spencer Michael.
And this is So You Want to Run a Restaurant, created by the team at backofhouse.io, the most trusted resource for restaurant tech. So if you've ever wondered what it actually takes to build a multi-unit restaurant business from the ground up, no outside VC, no corporate funding, not even any restaurant experience, just grit, systems, and seriously amazing leaders at the top, this is the person that you want to hear from today.
That's right. We're talking to Hengam Stanfield, the co-founder of Matengas Pizzeria in San Antonio, Texas, 7 locations strong, and recently named 2025 Pizzeria of the Year by Pizza Today. And what I love about her story is that she and her husband bought a failing pizzeria with no restaurant experience, applied their engineering brain, so civil engineer and an electrical engineer, to everything from labor to prep to just the entire culture within all 7 locations, and turned it into one of the most respected independent pizza restaurants in the country.
Yeah, and now she's not just running her own shop, she's helping other operators nationwide. We're going to go deep on systems, team culture, scaling, all the tips and tricks that she's bringing to the table today. Well, Hengam, thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to have you on to share your story with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat. Absolutely.
Thank you, Hengam. So I'm very curious to your background because I know you studied engineering, were electrical engineering, and your husband was civil engineering. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And of course, that obviously is a straight line to owning and operating a pizzeria.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's actually much to be said about that. We'll just move on. No, that's obviously very curious. So please tell us all about that, how that works.
In fact, my father-in-law makes this joke about, most folks work at a restaurant, and then they get their degree. We got our degree and then we went into the restaurants, kind of backwards there. But
yes, no kidding.
My husband and I, our background is in engineering. And then once we graduated from college and we got married, we had our 2 kids. My husband used to work at a mine as a junior civil engineer, and I worked at the college that we were at. At that time, also, we led a college ministry where we just had college students over at the house a lot. We loved feeding people, realized we love hospitality, and there's something very special about bringing people together over food. And we had never worked in a business before. Both our parents are not entrepreneurs or business owners. We had never even worked as a busser. We were just talking, you were saying how you started working as a busser when you were 15. Answer, no experience whatsoever. And we thought, how difficult can it be? It's not going to be more difficult than
famous
differential equations, we'll figure it out. Anyway, so that just tells you the arrogance that you're young and all of that. But at that time, we wanted to move out of New Mexico. We lived there in a very small town, Socorro, New Mexico. We wanted to get out and have opportunities for our kids, or just kind of a lot more growth. And we chose to move to Texas. We live in San Antonio. There is a website called Biz by Sell where you can see what restaurants are listed for sale. And that's how we started our journey. We sold our house in New Mexico when we bought a failing pizzeria in Northeast San Antonio. As part of the NDA, they provide you the P&L. So we looked at it. We didn't know what on earth we're looking at. The broker said, oh man, this is a cash cow, literally. And it turns out this restaurant, once we were done, at that time it was making $400,000 or $500,000 a year in sales, which is a lot of money when you're not in business world. You think, oh, that's $500,000 a year. Wow. But because you know nothing about business, because in our industry, we do make a lot of money and we end up spending a majority of it. So that restaurant, it's our first store we still have. That's 11 years ago. At that time, it was about $200,000 a year below break even. And so we had to pay for our education.
Wow.
We continue to do so and learn on this journey. We have added locations up to 9. And then this year we closed 2. So we're at 7, which I'm happy to talk about all of that and normalizing some of that. If something is not working, it's just better to cut it off. And there's no shame in that either. But so we have 7 restaurants in San Antonio. The size of our team fluctuates here and there, but about 140. We have 4 children. So it's a full life and we love it this way. Yeah.
That is a tale as old as time. Everything you just said that leads up to never making it to 11 years, let alone 1 year in the restaurant. Founded on Biz Buy Sell. We're lied to, I'll use that loosely, by the broker. Jumped in with like, how hard can this possibly be? So obviously that it's amazing that you just like, instead of going, oh my goodness, what did we get ourselves into? I was sure you did that, but you worked hard. You just like, we have no other option. We have to make this work.
My question is, when you went on the Buy Biz website, did you
Biz Buy
look for
Sell.
a restaurant, or did you? So you knew you wanted to do a restaurant, or did you just want to take over a business in general? Okay.
We
and
wanted
what
to
made
do
you,
restaurants, and we
pizza?
thought pizza would be. Again, we thought it would be easier to do pizza. When you know nothing, that's just the beauty of it. In fact, when we took over this restaurant one day to the next, I was on like cut line going to cut a pizza. And if you're in the pizza world, I would cut the pizza, but the pizza would not be cut. The slices would not separate because I didn't even know how to cut a pizza with the cutter properly. That's how little. Anyways, we knew about it.
It's one of the important steps.
It should give folks hope. I'm just saying it should give
folks hope. It's just a giant circular pie.
Yeah, I love that.
That's awesome.
Though.
I love that story. That's great.
So talk about the engineering mindset that you put into this to build and launch your first location. And when did you start thinking of the business as something you could systemize and not just a restaurant, and something, because obviously you launched your own location. You're at 7 you said 7 locations now. How did you, what was the process behind that?
Sure. I think that, if we have folks or restaurant owners listening to this, it is important to really know which season of business you're in. The first 2 years or so, you have to obsess over sales. Especially if you're there all the time. You are the systems. You're there to enforce the systems, all of those things. You need sales first to be in the black and have money in the bank, because the make line is going to go down, the water heater is going to break, the oven is something, people quit. But if you have money in the bank, savings, you will overall sleep much better at night. I'm just telling you, everything is much better with sales. So obsession has got to be sales, and you have the time because you don't have that many customers, and you have to get out of the restaurant and go find customers. We did parades. We would go to schools. We would take pizzas out. I would wear a pizza costume outside the store to get exposure and be known. That's the enemy of small business: obscurity. If no one knows you are there, you can be selling meatballs that are made out of gold for $1. But if no one knows that you're there, it doesn't matter what promotions you come up with. Let's start with this specialty dish. No one knows you're there. So that's kind of the first problem to solve, is sales. Once you solve that, then you want to think about growth. You're going to start thinking about systems, especially if you have young children or you have a family and you want to keep it together and have a life. You have got to focus on building systems in your restaurant. And so one of the things you did mention was about, having an engineering mind. And all that means is we love looking for problems. We look for problems and we try to solve them systematically. That's it. So maybe someone else's mindset is that doesn't want to, we always have these problems, but we love working on our problems. That's what, in fact, one of the things my husband and I, we do, and we do it now, is like we go to a hotel 2 days, like at the end of the year, and we write our frustration list. What are we frustrated with? And we isolate it by our top 3 frustrations that either take most of our time or energy or cost the most, that are going to be most impactful frustrations to solve, because you can really focus on solving unprofitable problems and you end up having, no profits as a result. So it's important to really allocate your time and focus in solving the right problems in your business as well. But we do that. We look for problems and we try to solve them systematically. That has been our obsession for the last decade, and I think that has led to a lot of our success.
That's great. Solving unprofitable problems. That sounds like the title of your new book, because I love that. That's a perfect line. Don't go solving problems that don't turn a profit. That is perfect. And I think that even though pizza has a whole different set of issues in other types of restaurants that you obviously jumped into and then figured it out along the way, but I think one thing about pizza is the fact that you can incorporate these types of systems, because it's orders coming in over the phone or or online, it's being made and then kind of just going out the door. You have that in a full service restaurant, you have that, okay, it's coming out of the kitchen. Now there's a whole other set of systems that we need to put into place to get it there. And those two need to marry up. So it's not just about systems. It has to taste good. And you wouldn't get there to 7 locations if it didn't.
Absolutely. And, we have been voted best pizza in San Antonio for the last 3 years.
Congratulations.
Well done.
We are definitely going to talk about that.
Sounds good. I appreciate that. So I agree with you. The menu does matter very much, and making sure that tastes good, it's clean, it's efficient, and you're able to deliver to the customer. I'm not delivering the food to the guest, whatever format it is, as fast as possible, because nobody got time to wait for their food. So we want to not compromise, the wait time versus all of that. Ultimately, when it comes to your menu, it's an iterative process. We have tweaked our dough recipe throughout the years, slightly here and there, and also with pizza, with the seasons, the temperature of the water, the moisture in the air, a lot of things could affect the dough recipe. So all of that, also recipes need to be written down. We need to make sure people are trained on those recipes. And so there's a big component on the training and the checklist. And also you need management systems. Management systems is you auditing to make sure people are following the systems, auditing to make sure people are actually following the dough recipe. So it's very common when you have multiple locations, which I think can be done if you're a one unit as well, is to have an auditing process in place. We do have a site audit that we do once a week. We have a person that goes to every 7 restaurant and checks a series of things. And it's always the same things. Obviously, the food safety, we want to make sure all the date stickers, the FIFA, all of those are happening, because that's very, very important. And then our systems are being used. Folks are wearing their uniform. If you do not have an accountability system in place and you just talk about systems and checklists, without the accountability, it'll go nowhere. It's just like in a classroom, you have a teacher who talks one way. If there's no tests at the end of the semester, no one is going to study. It really doesn't matter. The only reason people listen to you as a teacher is because they want to pass the test. So if you don't
they want to, they're holding them accountable at every step of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I read the Pizza Today article about the feature that they did on your restaurant, you talked a lot about that. And I thought it was great. The labor, the consistency, the training, the culture. I guess for other owners listening to this, what advice do you give them if they are new to this, or they say, hey, they're looking at you, they're seeing your success and what you did? As someone that didn't have restaurant experience, by the way, and I think that's also very telling, that you don't necessarily need to have that experience to grow a really successful business. Where would you recommend that they start? Technology decisions can make or break a restaurant. That's why restaurants turn to Back of House, your guide to smarter tech strategy. From point-of-sale systems to online ordering, labor tools, and guest engagement platforms, Back of House helps you cut through the noise with expert insights, comparisons, and best practices. Don't just buy tech, build a strategy that grows your business. Visit backofhouse.io and get the clarity you need to choose the right tools for your restaurant.
So what I would ask folks to start is with an ops book. We do have an ops book. We print it monthly. It includes every day, different days of the week. So we can talk about it. One of the challenges with restaurants is that we have daily checklists. There are things that must happen on a daily basis. You got to gut the make line. We sweep, we mop, put the chairs up. These are daily stuff. Then there are things that happen weekly every Monday, weekly every Tuesday. And sometimes that's where the frustration is, because, we forgot to place the food order, or the schedule should have been published already, and it's already Sunday for next week, or those things need to go into an ops book. We have it like every Monday, what needs to happen, every Tuesday, every Thursday. So a manager, when they come on the shift, it's like a planner for your manager. What do you want them to do on a Monday upon arrival? If it really matters to you, it needs to go somewhere for this manager to walk around and sign off.
Yeah.
Going through the store, checking all the prep levels, when there's a food order needs to come in, check if you're getting mats and towels and aprons, or all of those things are days of the week that need to happen. Our ops book is all the checklists go into one central, and we spiral bound it. You can staple it. It doesn't matter, get it from UPS printed. But that has been very helpful, because you need to make sure whatever you expect of your management team, it is clear. The reason this works, this relationship with accountability, because people would say that, that's too much. The reason it's not too much is because we're open about it up front. We train according to it. We walk people through the process. It's a step-by-step, you get to it. So expectation is managed from the very beginning. People know what they're getting themselves into. At Matengas, if you move up, we're very clear about it. We're clear on our company values. A lot is repeated. We refer back to those systems. But OpsBook is what I would start with. If you have checklists here and there and no central way of managing all those checklists, you're always dealing with chaos. And your manager is like, oh, I forgot that. I forgot this. Like, it frustrates me a lot when people things, it's a lack of excellence when things slip between cracks. Like we can't have that. You cannot grow. You will not have a life if things are, all over the place. That chaos. So OpsBook is the first one I would start.
Yeah. I think that's really solid advice. And I think that it's like the winning equation to get everyone on the same page and to scale, because scalability is a huge factor in this. And if you're going to scale, it's like you've got to hone in on the operations and the business side of the business. It's like the stuff that, people love to talk about the food, and we get a lot of chefs on the show that are really passionate about the food, but it's like the business side of it that really needs a different kind of brain and a different mindset.
Yeah, 100%.
That's great advice.
100%.
I'll often, you'll hear me on this when we do these podcasts about those that get into the restaurant business, as I grew up in it, not understanding exactly what it takes. And there's this, I often say, romantic notion of operating a restaurant because you ate in restaurants for years, and I can just, float amongst the dining room and say hello to people. And you don't have that romantic notion. So I think you're doing what other restaurateurs very much struggle to do, which is take their love for restaurants and food and then but put that into a cohesive system.
And it is hard. It's a hard thing to do, but you have to evolve. Your role in your restaurant has to evolve. Like if I want a team member that starts as a busser and I want him to become a shift lead to hopefully become a manager, me as a restaurant owner, I must also evolve and stop doing things that are comfortable. So it'd be easier for me to do table touches. Now, we have 7 restaurants. I cannot do table touches. I must train our servers so they will do table touches as though I was there. But it's much easier for me to do it. But that easy and comfort zone is what keeps you small. So, and if that's what you want, that is okay. It's not for everybody. If you're happy with it, sometimes I talk to restaurants, they have one location and they are happy. If you are happy, then that's fine. Be happy. If you are not happy, then just know that you have to evolve your role has to evolve. Like even me right now, I have always ran our marketing, all of our ads, creative, all of them. Now I'm evolving into hiring people for those. I still want to be somewhat involved, but I have to remove myself. So next year we can open 3 restaurants. I cannot keep doing that. So I need to figure out what do I want? Do we want to open 3 restaurants next year? Or do I want to still, hold the phone and create media? Do you know what I mean?
Sounds like you're training this, you have the right mentality and you're training the staff in a way that they can take over that so that you can spend your time doing other things.
Yeah.
So,
and
like the social media and the other aspects of it. So speaking of, you had a visit from Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. I'm assuming it's unannounced. He comes in, orders entire pie, and then walks out to the front, and he always is like, "Hey, Frankie, and then he always, where are we again?" And he has to say where we are. And then he'll go, "Okay, I'm going to take one bite. Everyone knows the rules." And then, of course,
it's not one bite, though. That's
like
the thing that
10 bites.
He takes like 10 bites.
And he says it about 5 times. One bite, everyone knows the rules.
Bite,
and
he keep biting it.
He keeps eating. And then he gives a score. And so you got a very respectable 7.1 from Dave Portnoy.
We can talk about it because that's
let's
not
do it.
What happened is, I happened to be at that store that he showed up. I don't think he goes to multi-units. So it was odd that he came to ours. I think he was in San Antonio for the NCA, what have you. And so we knew he was probably going to be in town. One of our managers that follows the sports had told me he may show up. But I happened to be at that particular restaurant of ours that he happened to be come with my mother, who has not been at this like over a year. I've not been at our restaurant because our manager had just gotten terminated. They were not following recipes. They were not following procedure. So that's why I was there. So that dough was not even that good. It wasn't a Matengas standard. And so it happened that we were there, that he came in. His assistant, Austin, placed the order. It's just a regular cheese pizza that he places. And then so I came to the register. The customer walked in and I looked up. It was him at the register for that order. Overall, he was very, very nice to me. I think different people have different experiences. Think that if you're courteous, people are nice and courteous back. But he was very nice to me at that time, and he met my mother briefly. And so if there is a grandma and the family with an accent, that always goes places. If there's a grandma around, people love it. But my mom
watched
came
the
out.
video. He did mention, I knew it's a family place. I knew right away I was going to like it. And okay, so he's got to come back then. Matengas needs a second chance because you were.
That's right. Yeah.
You were coming in there to change some of these procedures, and it wasn't up to your standards. So
you never know when you're going to have an opportunity like that, and you have to stay ready. You have to be ready for the opportunity when it comes knocking. One of them is like, for example, sometimes we go to San Antonio TV. So the time to prepare for that is currently with your social media. We briefly talked about social. You have to get in front of the camera, not because if that reel is going to do well. It's just that you are practicing for this next level of business. What if you have to, local TV wants you on because they want to have local restaurants on all the time. And you need to know how to handle yourself in front of the camera. You can practice that on a daily basis. Same as with Dave Portnoy. If I didn't, you know what I mean? You have to be able to tell your story in 40 seconds. And that is hard to do. So that just came out because of a lot of practicing and creating content throughout the years. That came.
Well, talk to us a little bit about the social media side of your business and the content marketing and what you recommend for people around that, because I feel like you spent a lot of time on that and you do a lot on the community engagement side. And so tell us a little bit more about that.
I think that there is no need to complicate things.
Yeah.
If you have a phone, use a phone. People love a person in front of the camera. So throughout the years, we've evolved. Like I have a young lady who comes to the store and she has a nice camera. But a lot of the stuff I've done with cell phone throughout years I've done. And also pictures. Whenever we donate pizzas, we do take pictures and we share them also on social media. If you go to our feed, there is a lot of donations. This month we did a lot of first responders. It's November as we're recording this. Police department, fire department. People love seeing those. That is part of content as well that we share. But making sure you're telling stories, depending on what the vibe of your restaurant is. We are pizza, so we're a little fun. We're more casual. We're family friendly. If you're a fine dining, it may be different. Or if you're a chef. If you are a chef and I have to create content and I rarely go to our restaurants now. We do work all the time, but just not in ops. If I was a chef and at the restaurant every single day, I would be making a video every single day and publish it, because whatever dish you're making, you can talk about it, be yourself, be funny. Not funny, but be your own personality. Allow your personality to show. Each person has a little quirk and little stuff that they have. But keep it simple, put it out. People want to support local business. Show the hustle. Briefly, we're talking about our kids. Always when we go to parades, different places, we have our kids with us. It's a family business. How do people know it's a family business? Because visually, we communicate that. There's pictures.
Yeah, I love that. You're really honed in on the brand and the ethos of the brand. And I think if you can get that, this is something that I'm deeply focused on, is how do you engage your community and what is the brand experience of you and what you're trying to sell. And it's about the ethos. It's about your values. It's about the kinds of people that you're trying to attract. And it's an embodiment of who you are.
Yeah.
And what makes your restaurant tick. I love that. I think that's great advice.
Yeah, and who you attract and who you repel. You want to be strategic with that too. So, if we are having our kids maybe with us in a thing and their content, it appeals to family people. If someone is a family, has kids, they appreciate a small business that involves their family and they want to support small business. Maybe there's a people group, maybe it won't appeal to college students. It may not, because they want to go it's a different vibe that they want to go into. And that is okay. If you know how, we have a train table at all of our restaurants, because that started when we started our journey. We had, one of my sons was 3, the other one was 1.5. So we always have a train table and a Lego table at all of our restaurants, because we want parents to come in, their kids to go over their play. So the parents can have a conversation, but that comes in understanding your customer and hone in on serving your avatar, your ideal customers. And Facebook groups, I think it's underrated. You have to be active in the Facebook groups. Many of them have 2 days a week that allow businesses to post. If you're a local restaurant, you have to be in. People want to support. They're always looking out for the next restaurant to try their food. Think of a special dish you make, post it in there. I think it's free to do it.
Yeah. Turn it on yourself, and it starts with video. Video is king right now. Images are great, but from the video you can get screenshots, and it's so simple and easy. It's so powerful that we've got these almost full camera studios in our pocket now. So you have to use them. So moving to the future now. Are we going to see 50 locations of Matengas?
Yeah, I feel like we might.
Is it going to go outside of Texas?
We're working on that, hoping
Working on 50?
Well,
They're going to make it. I know you are. I can feel it, Enga. You've got the energy in you.
Well, I mean, go big or go home, you know. It's just
That's
like
right.
if you're going to be committed to something, might as well fulfill it to maximum potential that it can have as a business.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping to add 3 to 5 locations every year. And so we will get there in time, but first wanted to really take over San Antonio market. You know, there are like 50 to 60 Domino's in San Antonio. We don't realize how many of these are everywhere in all the cities. We are going to keep going to go 10, 15, 20, and in time we'll get to 30. It's been done before. There are people who have, you know, hundreds of units. So we'll figure it out. Every day we're figuring it out.
As you scale the business, what stays sacred? Is it, as you're evolving it, is it the tech? Is it the automation? Is it the training? Or is it all of the above? Like if you could pick 3 things that you'd say, these are the things that is the heart of us scaling, what would they be?
First is company culture. It takes so much to build company culture, and it is rooted in your values, which were very clear. You know, Texas hospitality plus invest plus engineered, like that's our company values. We talk about it all the time, and in the beginning of every meeting, it's all the time, everywhere. Culture is very important. You can have one bad apple, literally, among many different apples. It'll ruin the whole thing. So you have to protect your culture and raise the standards of who you allow, what behavior is allowed, what's not allowed. So if someone comes in and said, that's not a big deal with our systems and stuff, we promote them to customer because we are going to keep, you know, our culture strong. That's very, very important and what we've been known for. The other one is the team. If you are going to scale as a business, as a restaurant, you will not go far or have a life or sanity if you do not have the team in place. And that's a big topic because people constantly you're looking for good people out there. We make good people. We get people of good character who are hungry, who are coachable, and we make them good. Not if you think that you're just going to hire somebody and they're going to be good and stay with you forever. That is, I don't know where that happens ever. You make people good. You have to have a machine that you build training, and we do have turnover. All restaurants, we all have turnover all the time. Training is every day. Whether we're short-staffed, we have too much staff, sales is low, sales is high, training is every day. So if you do that, you have a machine that you build up people. Stop complaining about so-and-so quit. There are no good people out there. This will always be. Team is very important and valuing those who are good. So we do have 10% of our team as a whole that are really good. They're hungry. They're coachable. We keep them hungry. We keep feeding their hungers. Hey,
I think that's great.
Yeah. There's Pizza Expo coming up in March. So we have like a campaign. People need to hit certain results. We would get an Airbnb and we take the team with.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Where is it?
Pizza Expo, March, Las Vegas. It is.
There you
Perfect.
go. Perfect.
I don't know if y'all are going because you should really consider
it should
going.
be now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should report from the floor.
We want to be in the Airbnb.
At Pizza Expo. I'm on the West Coast, so Vegas is an easy one for me to get to. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there are like 10,000 plus pizzeria owners who attend every year. So, but people have to be able to experience things that they wouldn't otherwise. They will stay with you. Like in June, we took a few of our managers to like a tour. We went to toured the cheese factory. We toured the pepperoni factory. We took them to California, Stanislaus, which is the sauce company. People need to be able to experience things they wouldn't otherwise. It will stay with you. If that makes sense. Yeah.
No, it absolutely makes sense. I think that your ethos around team culture is something that other people could totally take a lesson from. It's like you're being consistent, you're holding people accountable, and you're doing it over and over and over and over again. And I think that it's also, we hear a lot of people on the show talk about how hard it is to hire people and retain people. And it's like, well, exactly what you say. If they feel like they have a path here and that they're a part of it and they're growing with you and they're building it with you, then I think they feel there's more skin in the game. And not just they feel it, but there is, like they're a part of it. And so as you grow, they grow. And I think that that's really cool. And I look forward to seeing you in Chicago one day. I'm like, I want you to
for NRA.
I want you to tackle the Chicago pizza market with Matengas. That's what I'm
pizza
for.
in Chicago. Yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming. All right.
Perfect.
Sounds
well, thanks so much, Enga. This was great. Before you go, we have our on the fly round.
I need 2 on the fly.
3 quick questions for you. First thing that comes to mind. First question, beer or soda with pizza?
I don't drink beer and I don't drink soda.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't drink soda, but
what would it be? Or other?
Or other milk.
My husband would milk. Right? A lot of people like soda and beer. I think beer goes well with pizza. Our customers would say that beer is good. Yeah,
natural.
Okay,
Natural.
I'm coffee all the way.
Okay.
Coffee and pizza. Okay. So what's your favorite pizza topping? That's an easy one. Should be an easy one. You can go off the board and give me or go simple. So what's your favorite?
I love a basic supreme pizza. It has a balance of meat and vegetable. That's my favorite because it's what's good in life is just balance. 2 meats, usually pepperoni and sausage. You got onions, bell peppers, mushroom, black olives, classic supreme.
Yeah.
I do love that.
Nice. I love a supreme myself.
Yeah,
okay.
As do I.
Final question here. If you could go back and tell your day one self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Never quit. Keep at it and you will accomplish far more than you can ever conceive and imagine. Just keep at it.
That's great.
That's awesome. I think you're hitting the cornerstones of effective and responsible restaurant management. I don't think 50 locations is not even close to as far as you can go because from my perspective, you're doing everything right. So congratulations.
Appreciate it. It means a lot.
It's been great talking to you today.
Thank you both. Absolutely. Thank you.
So You Want to Run a Restaurant is created by Back of House, produced and hosted by Claudia Sarek with Nick Florick as executive producer. Marketing by Hillary Young and Ashley Dunn. Creative by Manisha Kishenchand. And live production by Sarah Heemstra. And of course me, your co-host, Spencer Michael. For more information, visit backofhouse.io/podcast.